I've been stabbed in the back, I'm immobilized. Nailed it.
Mods. 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 Mods.
Did you play around with Okra's soundboard again?
I left one of her buttons alone.
Hyper Light Breaker. I should be mad because you've played around with yet another tool that reminds us we have a cat, but that is just funny enough for me to be mad at you later. Now, what are you doing with the rest of her soundboard?
Trying to find the perfect way to begin this episode of ModSlap.
What about the actual slap sound effect?
Welcome to ModSlap, where we look at game mods that interest us. Today we're taking a trip down the very deep well of mods for Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Wait, you said mods that interest us. What part of the worst Smash Bros. Game should interest us?
These mods?
Solid logic. Let's see what you have. Super Smash Bros. Melee is the second installment in the Smash Bros. Series, and it came out on the GameCube in 2001, just 18 months after the prequel on the N64. It featured more modes, updated graphics, more fighters, more stages, and inspired many a person to believe the false notion that Smash is meant to be a competitive game instead of a party game. The inclusions are iconic, the battles can be spectacles, and the ledge detection is only marginally better than Super Mario 64's.
And lo, we enter our first mod I want to show off today, the Akaneia Build. Ooh,
This Melee mod is not only weirdly named, it also doesn't aim to fix any of the various issues Melee is known for. Instead, there are more characters, more stages, and more modes.
Alright. Let's at least look at the mod before you settle into that conversation. This build is apparently named after the Fire Emblem stage that was meant to make it into Melee, but did not, thus Akaneia, however you say it. Delight in the extra characters like Sonic, Charizard, and more that were added. Pump up the fun in any of the almost a dozen stages that were added. Then, after you've explored each of those new bits, check out the new volleyball minigame.
First, the new characters. We have 5 new ones for all of you 7 Melee fans out there to test out. First is the new heavy character, Charizard. Most of his moves come from Smash 4, complete with Rock Smash. He's big, strong, has no hit priority whatsoever, and his side special no longer causes self-inflicted damage.
Next, we have the Fox Falco copy, Wolf. He feels a lot more like Fox and Falco in this mod than he ever has in any game he appears. His moves are very familiar. Still fun to play though.
Third, we have Lucas, who comes equipped with his entire moveset from every Smash he has appeared. He is a bit slower than Ness, but still fits the Melee physics we all tolerate.
After Lucas, we come to Diddy Kong. The banana peel tossing, face grabbing ape flies in on his single direction rocket barrel pack to show you that he too is here and is coming for you. He's a light character and still fun to play as.
Finally, we have the most anticipated addition to anything that's not his own series, Sonic. He's fast, has most of his moves from his other Smash appearances, and actually is fun to play, even if he's stuck wrestling with Melee's horrible physics. He even has a new chargeable dash move with his side special.
Each of these characters has been ported into Melee with relative ease. Even though the directional abilities of some of their attacks, specifically their up specials, were left off, most of these characters feel like they deserve to be here.
Once you pick your character, feel free to take a look at any of the non-tournament approved stages, such as Metal Cavern, Delfino Plaza, Luigi's Mansion, Smashville, Green Hill Zone, and every past stage, except for Sector Z. You can also venture up to this stage called Volleyball to play, well, volleyball, which is also a new mode in the game section.
Speaking of the
Game section.
There are 4 new modes you can check out. First, let's look at Turbo Melee, which is something. I think it removes frames so you can perform attacks faster? Maybe? We can't tell. Next is Tag. In this mode, one of you is it, denoted by a red arrow over their head. To pass the tag, you gotta hit another character. Then, after a random amount of time, the person who is it explodes. Then everyone rides back in on their trophy bases and another it is chosen.
Third new mode is All-Star Versus, in which you and player 2 will fight on random stages with a list of 30 chosen or random characters. Every time a character loses all their stock, the stage will switch. Then the fight begins again. No items, one stock, sometimes Fox, sometimes Final Destination.
The fourth mode is Volleyball, which pits you and another human player, because computers will just try and kill you instead of attacking the ball, in 3 rounds of volleyball. First to 11 points 3 times wins.
Won't be hard for your opponent. You'll score more on yourself than you will on them. Meteor smashes launch the ball straight down, and since you can't cross the net, most aerial moves are useless. Most other attacks don't hit the ball far enough. This would work so much better if the ball had Brawl's physics instead of Melee's, because this is difficult to play. Never mind actually having fun in it.
This is not that good. It's just more Melee, which is already disappointing.
Yeah, much to the dismay of our viewers, we don't like Melee as much as any other Smash game, and this build is just more Melee. The modes, stages, characters, and volleyball minigame are just more Melee. The physics didn't change, the amount of fun wasn't altered, and there are no new options that would improve the gameplay. It's more of the same, slightly more emphasis on the more part.
Okay, this mod didn't even come close to scratching that itch. You know, that itch in your liver that makes you wish Melee was actually fun. That itch. So even though this was a huge pain in the ass to get to work, let's check out the other mod I prepared for us for this episode.
Oh good! More Melee!
Fuck yeah, this is the one I've been looking forward to. This Melee mod is called Super Smash Bros. Melee 64, or Hybrid 64, because from the main menu you can either play regular Smash Melee or this mod.
Hold on. Why does everyone look so amazing?
That's the mod. Look at how beautiful these low poly models are. Fairly certain most, if not all of them, are models from N64 games that match as closely as they can to Melee's model. There are even added voice lines from their various games to give them even more personality.
They even switched Luigi's voice away from the high-pitched screeching he uses in original Melee to whatever these are from. Speaking of sound effects, one of the many perks of this mod is the addition of Smash 64 sound effects. Slashes, strikes, explosions, you'll hear the classic Smash-ic sound effects of old, and the nostalgia will punch you, kick you, throw you, meteor you, I get it!
Other than sound, some new outfits and costumes were added. If you play around with the outfit options on characters like Mario, you'll come across his referee outfit. Luigi has a Waluigi outfit. Other characters have other outfits. However, if you choose colors while selecting Peach, Marth, Roy, Link, Young Link, Ness, or Captain Falcon, you'll come across Echo costumes.
Basically Echo Fighters, but they're just color swaps. In order of those we mentioned, the Echo Fighters are Daisy, Sigurd, Leaf, Dark Link, Original Link, Ninten, and Blood Falcon. Nice little references. They'll still be labeled as their original model characters when the announcer calls their name, but the costumes are still nice.
You can get a close-up look at their altered models and textures during the results screen. Look at Ninten's empty face, Blood Falcon's teeth, and Dark Link's I have no idea, I can't see.
If the fact there are no new characters disappoints you, then why don't you take a look at the wealth of stages? Unfortunately, most of these adhere to the strict anti-fun theory of Melee is competitive, which is annoying. Most of these are a platform with another nearby, and a severe lack of creativity for what could be inspiring stages. Shadow Temple? That sounds kind of cool. It's 3 platforms and a walk-through wall in the middle. Panel de Pont? 3 large stairs and 2 floating platforms. I'm aware 64 didn't allow for a lot of movement in stages, but there should be more here than competitive friendly platforms and the spaces between.
Dang. Hey, at least each new stage comes with new Smash 64 Sound Fun inspired music. Every stage has at least one new track to meet its new look.
And those new static backgrounds from the wrong games. At least there's more than one stage you can Hyrule Temple trap yourself for a smash attack off until one of you mistimes a wall bounce.
See, I knew you could say something good about what amounts to a texture pack that changed almost every stage into competitive friendly bores.
See, I knew you would realize this mod isn't as amazing as you wrote me to initially react to it.
Okay, fine, it's just more Melee, which is in the lowest tier of Smash Bros. But I was hoping either of these would add or change enough to keep the Melee feel, but would allow options to improve that experience.
You were searching for the Smash remix of Melee.
It's a shorter way of saying that, sure.
Well, keep searching. Modding this game couldn't have been easy.
The Akaneia Build
Stepped up to the plate with new characters, a handful of new stages, and a volleyball minigame you can't play unless you have friends. Yuck. Ultimately though, all it does is add more Melee to Melee. Then you bring Hybrid 64, which amounts to a texture pack with an entire array of new stages. The way this looks and feels, one would expect this mod goes a bit further, removes side specials, takes away directional throws, adds back in a floatier, better control. You know, Melee characters, but Smash 64. But again, it's just more Melee.
Okay, fine, I failed to catch you with the content, but at least it all looked like it was going to be great.
To the average Melee enjoying houseplant, this probably shakes their leaves. But to us, this does not do it. So continue searching, James. Maybe one day you'll find the mods that make the games we dislike fun.
One day. Thank you for joining us for this episode of ModSlap. What did you think of these mods? Do you have some in mind we should try? Do you like Melee? Do you like cheese? Do you want to share some brie? Do you like questions? Do you like leaving comments? Will you subscribe to us? Will you follow us for more? Will you be kind in the comments? Will you respect others' opinions? Can I touch Andy? And finally, did you drink enough water today? Goodbye!
Don't touch me. Can I not be touched?